The anime begins with a young boy named Lloyd receiving magic lessons on the 4 basic elements from his strict teacher. His teacher started by training him on the first element, fire, and firmly told him to keep practicing until he succeeded, warning that if he failed, he wouldn't get dinner tonight. This threat made Lloyd take the matter very seriously. Lloyd began his magic training with determination. After a long time of continuous attempts, he went to his teacher and told her he had finally succeeded. He demonstrated what he had learned for her, which astonished her with his rapid progress. However, she quickly extinguished his flame, then conjured a massive fire in front of him, and told him that he still had a very long way to go. This made him realize that what he had achieved was just a simple start. The next day, she began training him to draw water from the ground. When Lloyd first imitated his teacher, he didn't succeed at all, so she explained it to him in a better and clearer way. When she drew water from the ground in front of him, Lloyd was amazed by her power. She told him to try again. When he did it this time, he succeeded and proudly told her about the water. She told him she was happy with his progress, but she rewarded him by drenching him with a large amount of water, telling him that this was real water. The following day, he showed that he could use the power of wind, but his strength wasn't perfect yet. When his teacher saw this, she blasted him with a powerful gust of wind, knocking him from his spot to teach him the difference between his limited power and her true power. After that, he went into the forest and used ice magic, creating an ice sculpture in the shape of his teacher, thinking she would like it. But when his teacher arrived and saw the statue, she used it against him. She grabbed Lloyd, enlarged the statue, and then shattered it, causing Lloyd to fall amidst the scattered ice. He emerged from the ice believing he lacked true power, so he told his teacher he would work very hard to obtain it. We then cut to the house where his teacher was very sick. Lloyd asked his teacher if she felt any better, but she was still in a lot of pain. Lloyd didn't stop trying to help her and cast a healing spell on her, after which the teacher became better than before. She hugged him for helping her and thanked him, but then she grabbed him and told him it was time to continue his training. Days later, the teacher was sitting in her room reading a spell book, looking sad. Lloyd came in to tell her that the food was ready. As she was placing the book on the table, it fell to the floor. When Lloyd picked it up and held it, something strange happened to him, and he immediately lost consciousness, which greatly surprised the teacher. She picked up the book and believed that Lloyd had the makings of a chosen one. Afterwards, she sat alone, finished reading the book, and foresaw Lloyd's future destiny. She went to Lloyd in his room. He was asleep and sick. She said to herself that she would not let this boy repeat her mistakes. She kissed his forehead, leaving a mark similar to a healing sigil, which then disappeared. The next day, they went to the forest, and he used a healing element on a piece of fruit, causing it to develop and grow astonishingly. The teacher saw that he had become good at the healing element, but not like her, because she then proceeded to heal the entire tree, not just a single fruit. She told him that this is what true healing should be, picked one of the fruits, tasted it, and then left, leaving Lloyd amazed by his teacher's immense power. They went back to the house where the teacher told him that some of the beastmen could use a strange magic to control monsters. Lloyd asked if this was a strange type of magic, but the teacher was reluctant to teach Lloyd this ancient magic, telling him he must stay away from it because it had been extinct for centuries. The next day, he started training again, holding a magic staff that he had hidden, but the teacher made it appear, struck him with it, and knocked him down. She told him to do it faster, seeing that he still lacked enough experience, and told him not to slack off in his training. They went back to the house again to talk about other types of magic, including the magic stone. She told him it was a crystallization of mana, and its power also turns what is around it into a magic stone. Lloyd asked if it could be restored. After several days, they went to the forest, but without Lloyd knowing what was about to happen, the teacher uncovered his eyes and asked where he was. He was surprised to see a monster in front of him. She handed him a knife and told him to return home within a week, which shocked Lloyd. She told him he had to survive using magic and quickly left. The monster immediately appeared and attacked Lloyd, but he ran away at once and climbed a tree so the monster couldn't catch him. He thought he couldn't defeat this monster with white magic and saw that he had to escape quickly. He used vision magic and saw that the safe place was very far away. He came down from the top of the tree and started walking, carrying the knife. Then he hid the knife. After nightfall, he went to a tree, enhanced a fruit, and ate it. He then stayed in a cave and used a circle spell for a minor enhancement to strengthen himself. In the morning, he started climbing mountains and almost fell. Night fell, so he went to stay inside a tree and used a spell to reduce his mana consumption. In the morning, he continued wandering through the forest and continued to fully enhance his strength. While on his way, he stepped on a small branch, which caused a huge monster to fall, but Lloyd dodged it. When he saw the monster, he was terrified and immediately ran away, while the monster instantly chased after him. Lloyd used a speed spell and increased his speed to avoid being eaten by the monster. He returned home but felt exhausted and lost consciousness. Then, his teacher came out to him and proudly welcomed him for succeeding in the challenge. After several years, Lloyd had grown into a young man and was continuing with his household chores. While he was cleaning, he found a book about a nearby city. The teacher saw he had stopped working and told him to finish. Then he asked to borrow the book, and she didn't mind at all. While he was still cleaning, she appeared to him again and asked for his help with an anti-aging spell. She dragged him away against his will and then brought him back in the same rude manner. Afterwards, they ate lunch, but an idea for a new enhancement spell came to the teacher's mind. When night fell, she didn't let him sleep either and asked him to stay with her. She told him to drink a dose of a special potion to feel energetic and lively, but he collapsed from exhaustion after drinking it. He then examined the city book, even into the next day. The teacher went to his room to wake him up, but he wasn't there. She saw the city book on his desk and realized what had happened. We cut to Lloyd on his way to the city. Lloyd moved to the city and was surprised to see so many people everywhere. He almost got run over by a moving cart. The cart driver told him to watch his step, while Lloyd thought this city was amazing and totally different from the quiet life he was used to. After that, he bought some baked goods but ended up broke. Suddenly, a rose-colored note hit him. Unknown to him, someone was watching him from a distance. After reading the note, he learned about a job for an adventurer and decided to join. Lloyd joined his new team on an adventure, with Alan as the leader. When facing a monster, the beast struck, breaking down walls. Lloyd was amazed by its destructive power. Alan asked Sheena to cast a healing spell, but Lloyd used it first without anyone noticing, boosting the whole team and making them fully ready to take down the monster. One team member shot an arrow that hit the monster's eye, which made it angry. The monster then struck her, but her teammate defended her. Another member tied up the monster to stop it from moving. Finally, Alan landed a strong blow and defeated the monster. Lloyd saw they had succeeded somehow and caught the attention of one of his female teammates. They returned to the city where people waited for them as heroes. Then they went to the team's house, where Alan gave Lloyd his share of the money, explaining it was for a D rank, and asked him not to take it the wrong way. Lloyd wasn't bothered at all by his modest rank. Alan suggested they celebrate their success, but Lloyd left because he didn't drink alcohol. This upset one of his female teammates. Alan didn't care and told her that any white mage would do, and that they weren't very useful in battle. Next, at the teacher's house, Lloyd's monitor came to her and said Lloyd had been hired by an adventurer team called the Hero to kill monsters. The teacher thought this was his chance to fight a real battle and not be afraid as long as he stayed humble. Lloyd's monitor asked the teacher if she regretted it, but she said she wouldn't make the same mistake twice. The monitor told her that once, the demon lord sacrificed himself trying to steal a magical book and drag them to ruin. She remembered how ancient magic was used in the past, reversing the fate of all those the demon lord defeated, but at Lloyd's life cost. Back in the city, a vendor sold books about the hero team's battles against monsters. Many people surrounded him. Stories showed Alan facing monsters with Lloyd helping so his female teammate could block the monster's attacks until they bound it and Alan landed a hit. At Alan's house, he visited his girlfriend's room and asked why she studied so much lately. She was reading about basic defense, and Alan thought she was working hard, but she recently felt something strange about the hits she blocked with her shield. Alan told her it was because of excess power, but she hadn't seen him train recently and didn't see the need since he was already very strong. By the river, 2 soldiers were killed by a giant monster near the city. Back at Alan's house, he was informed about the deaths and was asked to kill the monster. Alan thought the mission would be easy. At the river, Alan asked if the monster was nearby. Lloyd confirmed and found its location. They entered the monster's lair, and Alan struck it down. But another monster appeared, surprising Lloyd and angering Alan. Lloyd found out a demon was behind this, with a black gem causing it. The gem was in the demon's magic staff, crystallized mana, and very rare. His female teammate asked if the gem was saturated with mana, and another teammate said he used it to control monsters. Lloyd cast his spell and asked Lulu to shoot an arrow at it after he powered it up. Lulu was surprised, but shot and hit the demon. He told Mia to bring the staff, and she wondered if he wanted her to deliver it instantly. When she did, Lloyd grabbed the staff, surprising Mia and angering Alan because Lloyd overstepped. Alan was the leader. Alan suggested piercing the monster, but Lloyd told him to stop because the monster's behavior would be unpredictable without the magic stone controlling it, and it would be dangerous. Alan ignored Lloyd, attacked, and almost got hit, but Lloyd saved him with his power. Alan got angry again and told Lloyd not to interfere. Lloyd attacked the monster again and landed a blow that killed it. At Alan's house, Alan decided to kick Lloyd out, saying he always messed up and hung back. Alan expected more from a white mage, but Lloyd left all the healing to Sheena, making him useless. Lloyd asked Alan, "Do you think I lack power?" Alan thought so and felt sad. After realizing Lloyd knew himself well, Alan told him to leave the team, and Lloyd left. Lloyd joined another guild team and asked their leader to let him in, but the leader refused because they already had a white mage. Lloyd kept walking and heard a girl begging an employee to get her a diamond for a free white mage by tomorrow, but the employee said it was too difficult. The adventurer asked again about any available white mages and begged a lot, but the employee told her about Lloyd. She approached him quickly and asked if he was a white mage. When he said yes, she asked, "Are you with a team?" He told her he was actually free. She grabbed him and asked him to come with her. Before joining them, Lloyd's new team was on a mission to capture a group of thieves called the Clay Blocks. Cross, the archer, believed they would succeed if they followed the plan. Silica, the witch, saw they had to be careful because it was a top priority mission. Yui, their leader, thought they could pull it off, but Clume, the team's white mage, was distracted and not paying attention. The team attacked the thieves, hitting them hard. Silica used fireballs, injuring the thieves and forcing them to hide behind wooden crates. After Silica finished her attack, one of the thieves said they should strike now while she was off guard. But when they did, Cross's arrows were waiting, taking them all down. Yui successfully knocked them out one by one. She almost got hit by a thief, but Daga stepped in just in time and blocked the attack. Clume then used her magic to strengthen Dagas's body, who pushed the thief away and knocked him down. They managed to defeat all the thieves, which scared the leader, who was hiding and stunned by what happened. He thought about running, but the adventurers appeared behind him. Yui calmly asked him to surrender and come with them. The thief leader asked who they were, but he recognized them when he saw the emblem on Yui's pendant. Yui told him they were rank S adventurers. The thief leader grabbed his staff, which held a magic stone, and told them they couldn't defeat his monster since they were rank S. Then he summoned a giant stone golem, surprising the adventurers. Silica guessed that because of its huge stone body, it would be resistant to magic. Cross thought bows and arrows might still work. The thief leader laughed and mocked them, ordering the golem to attack. Yui asked the team to step back and let her handle it. She struck the golem, but it didn't affect it at all. Then the golem hit back, but Yui dodged in time. She asked Clume to cast a body-strengthening spell on her, but Clume was distracted again. Yui asked her once more, and this time Clume listened and did it. Yui attacked again with a strong hit, and succeeded in completely destroying the golem. The team completed the mission and tied up all the thieves. Clume apologized to Yui for being distracted during the battle, but Yui wasn't mad because she understood that Clume was worried about her younger sister. That's why Clume was away from the team for a long time. Next, at the guild, Yui searched for a replacement white mage for Clume and found Lloyd. She quickly brought him to her team's base. Silica was surprised by how fast she returned, and Cross guessed she hadn't found any white mage, but Yui told them she had. Dagas didn't believe it and asked where he was. Yui pointed to Lloyd and said she would introduce him. She asked his name, and after he said it, she told him he was the new white mage. Yui introduced Lloyd to the team members, telling him she was the team's swordswoman and leader, welcoming him to their group. But Lloyd didn't agree immediately to join them. Silica expected this. Dagas thought Yui brought him without explaining everything. Cross figured Lloyd would refuse the mission since it seemed impossible without Clume. Dagas suspected Lloyd might fill Clume's role. Silica understood Yui's feelings about giving up the mission but saw how sad Yui was. Yui asked them what would happen to their client if they refused the mission since someone requested their help. Lloyd suggested leaving the mission for another team, but Silica said they couldn't because it was rank A, and only teams of rank A or higher could accept it. Dagas knew all rank A teams were on external missions, and since they were rank S, they were the only ones able to take it. Lloyd was surprised to learn they were rank S, the highest for adventurers. Cross explained that adventurers could only work with registered members of their own team, so borrowing someone from another team wasn't allowed. Lloyd wanted to help but remembered Ellen's words calling him useless, which made him sad. Yui saw no problem if Lloyd was amazing. Then they moved to the forest, and Yui asked Lloyd to show his skills for evaluation. Lloyd felt a lot of pressure, worried he'd disappoint them like with his previous team. Dagas thought Lloyd was embarrassed by the request. Suddenly, he told Yui to ask him about the spell he was going to use, and she agreed. She asked him to cast a buff spell on all of them, surprising Lloyd and Cross. Most white mages couldn't do that. Lloyd asked if casting a buff on all of them at once meant joining as a rank S. Yui confirmed that and said it had to be simultaneous, not one by one. Lloyd wondered what they expected from him. Yui asked if he couldn't do it, but Lloyd's real issue wasn't that. Dagas told him not to fake strength or raise Yui's hopes. Cross asked Lloyd to be honest if he could do it or not. Lloyd asked them for a little time, then showed his staff, surprising Yui. He displayed magical circles and cast the spell on them. Yui asked where he got the staff, and he explained it was just storage magic. He then asked for their opinion on the buff spell he cast. They were amazed it worked. Dagas was surprised he didn't chant any incantations, and Cross felt felt lighter. Yui tried it herself by hitting a tree, cutting it down, which shocked the whole team. They couldn't believe it. Lloyd told them he used 5 spells: body strengthening, defense boosting, magic power enhancement, mana consumption reduction, and status ailment resistance. Yui was amazed he used all 5 on everyone. He said it was easy for him to only cast a single buff but assumed they wanted more, though he thought that was a mistake. He hit his staff again, apologized for his poor performance, and said he wasn't fit to be their white mage, and that he would leave. But Yui asked him to wait before disappearing. Yui was surprised to learn Lloyd had been part of a prestigious team, the hero team, but got kicked out for lack of power. Cross asked how he could lack power after what he just showed them. Silica had never seen anyone use that much magic at once. Lloyd thought there were stronger white mages than him as well. Cross asked about the flaw in his evaluation, but Lloyd told them about the previous white mage of this team and said bringing her back would be faster than adding him to the team. Yui told Lloyd about their former white mage, who had a very sick younger sister that she cared for. This drained her health and strength. Everyone noticed she was very exhausted. Silica said she had left the team on her own after getting mentally unsettled during a recent mission. Cross learned she didn't want to be a burden. Lloyd understood they were searching for a new white mage because of that. Dagas thought the team might attempt the mission without a white mage but would be at great risk, making it a big challenge. Yui hoped Clume was okay now, and the rest of the team felt worried about her. Lloyd asked if her sister was important to all of them, which made him feel a bit jealous. He then asked about the little sister's illness. Yui didn't know much, but said the disease turned her body to magical stone, surprising Lloyd. He recalled what his tutor once told him about that illness. Then he asked Yui to guide him to Clume's house. Lloyd and Yui went to Clume's house, and Clume was surprised by their visit. Lloyd asked about her sick sister's condition. Clume told him she used to adventure with her younger sister, Selvi, but Selvi got injured during a mission and lost consciousness by the time Clume reached her place. Lloyd asked about her symptoms, but Clume said it was better if he saw them himself. Then Clume opened her room door and a repulsive mana scent came out. Her room was full of repulsive mana. Clume then uncovered Sylphie, revealing her terrible condition to Lloyd, which surprised him. Clume explained to him that Sylphie was turning into a magic stone, and if her mana got out of control, her body would gradually transform, and it was only a matter of time until she fully transformed. However, Lloyd approached Sylphie, and if his hypothesis was correct, he believed he could cure her. This surprised Clume, because high-level healing magic users she had seen said it was impossible. She wondered what a normal white mage could do, but Lloyd thought it was due to her exposure to a pure magic stone, and asked Clume if Sylphie was injured in a cave with high mana density. Clume confirmed this, as the mission was to extract a magic stone from a cave. Lloyd asked about the location of the wound, and Clume revealed it. Lloyd's guess was correct. The mana entered from that spot and then spread throughout her body, which was the reason for her transformation into a magic stone. Clume asked how he knew this, and he told her he was taught by an excellent teacher. Yui asked Clume if she trusted Lloyd. Then Lloyd began, revealing his staff and using a magic circle, but he felt tired. Clume asked him what happened, and he told her he used a reverse mana transfer spell to absorb mana from Sylphie. Clume asked Lloyd if he meant he reshaped the spell. Lloyd told her that the transformation into a magic stone was progressing due to the raging mana inside her, so he had to reduce her mana to the lowest possible level, close to 0. Unless the mana was removed, no treatment would help, and he would start treating her again, continuing this process. Then he used the power of the spells, and that he used a flawed, very inefficient version in mana consumption, allowing him to burn a lot of the mana he absorbed while healing Sylphie. This astonished Yui and Clume. Yui asked Clume if this was impressive, but Clume thought it was the most impressive thing ever because he used spells he created himself and cast 2 at once. Moreover, it showed great endurance and strong will to withstand the immense mana consumption, and a normal person couldn't do this. Then Yui was surprised by Sylphie's limbs after she started recovering. Lloyd succeeded in this and succeeded in healing Sylphie completely. Then Yui approached him and told him he had succeeded in healing her. Then Sylphie woke up and called for her older sister. Clume cried a lot because of her fear for Sylphie. Then Clume thanked Lloyd and told him that when Sylphie fully recovers, she will venture with her again. Yui thought this was logical and better for her. Then Clume told them that their next meal was on her. Then Yui said goodbye to her and also Lloyd, but Clume stopped Lloyd and told him she was relieved about the group while he was with them and asked him to take good care of them. But Lloyd wasn't an official member of the group and still lacked power. Then we moved to the tavern, and Lloyd's new team was gathered with food and drinks in front of them. Dagas told Lloyd that he had done well in healing Sylphie. Yui thought he was still acting very humble and joked about hitting him, but Lloyd's happiness was indescribable due to Sylphie's healing. However, it was unfortunate that Clume would not return to the group. Silica thought they should think about their future, and Cross was now overwhelmed with happiness. Dagas saw that their friend had gotten a new chance at life, and there was nothing to prevent celebrating this. Yui thanked Lloyd for saving Sylphie, and Lloyd remembered Alan's ugly words to him. Then Degas asked the group what they would want if they were given a new life. Silica would want to be a wife. While they were talking, Lloyd interrupted them and asked them to join their team, which surprised everyone. Then he told them, assuming you don't mind my presence, which annoyed Yui. Degas thought he was against the idea, and Cross was very happy about this. Silica expected that Lloyd's presence with them was very reassuring. Then Yui welcomed Lloyd to join them, and Lloyd also shook her hand and thanked her for hosting him. Then Yui said they should celebrate now to welcome the new member, but Lloyd thought this wasn't necessary. But Yui insisted on this party, and that this is how things are done, so she would have a welcome party and asked him if he would follow her. Lloyd agreed to this. The rest of the team thought she wanted to let loose, but Yui told them it wasn't like that, and that she was very serious and that they had misunderstood.